The alarm woke Kate from a deep sleep. Red lights flashed across her small quarters in the east wing of the Zaloran Palace. She jumped out of bed and grabbed her uniform, dressing in practiced motions while her mind cleared. The emergency code, flashing on her comm unit, was one she had never seen before. Kate rushed through the crystalline hallways, her boots barely making a sound on the polished floors. Other human personnel emerged from their quarters, faces tight with confusion and worry. Lieutenant Grace Taylor, her direct superior, intercepted her at the main junction. "Perimeter breach in Sector 7, Grace explained, her voice clipped. "Multiple hostiles. The Queen has been moved to the secure bunker." Kate frowned. "Sector 7? That's near the medical research facility." "Exactly. They're targeting Dr. Chen and her team." They sprinted toward the armory. The alliance between humans and Zalorans was still new, fragile. After Kate had uncovered the assassination attempt against Queen Valexa 2 months ago, both species had grown closer, but opposition remained strong on both sides. The alien guards were already mobilizing when Kate and Grace reached the command center. Captain Olivia Martinez stood with Commander Zarex, the head of Zaloran security. Their height difference was striking. Olivia barely reached the alien's chest, but the respect between them was evident. "Morgan Taylor Good, we need you with Team 3, Olivia said. "These hostiles are using modified human weapons, which means they have inside help." Kate felt her stomach tighten. A traitor among the human delegation could destroy everything they had worked for. "What's their target?" Kate asked. Commander Zarex's facial tentacles rippled with anger. "The research. Dr. Chen has made significant progress on the cure for our female illness. If lost, it would set us back years. And conveniently ruin the alliance," Grace added bitterly. The command center's main screen showed the palace layout. Multiple red dots moved through Sector 7, heading toward the labs. "We've evacuated most personnel," Zarex continued. But Dr. Chen refused to leave. She locked herself in the secure vault with the research data. Kate understood immediately. Sam would protect that research with her life. It represented hope for the entire Zaloran species. "Who's with her?" Kate asked. "No one." The attack came during minimal staffing hours. Kate checked her weapon. "I know those labs better than anyone. Let me go in first." Olivia hesitated, then nodded. "Take Ellis and Pharaoh with you. The rest of us will create a diversion at the main entrance." Kate moved through the palace service tunnels with 2 other human guards. Their small size gave them an advantage in the narrow passages that the Zalorans rarely used. Through her earpiece, Kate could hear the diversion team engaging the hostiles. 5 targets at the main lab entrance, Olivia reported. Mixed group, 3 Zalorans, 2 humans. Kate felt a surge of anger, humans working against their own people, against this historic alliance. But she kept her focus. Personal feelings had no place in a tactical situation. They emerged near the vault where Sam had barricaded herself. Kate scanned the area and spotted 2 guards outside the reinforced door, 1 human male and 1 Zaloran female. Both wore the insignia of Zeryl's faction, the conservative group that opposed any alliance with Earth. "Hold position," Kate whispered to her team. She studied the setup, noting the human guard's stance and weapon handling. There was something off about him. "That's not a trained soldier," she murmured. "Look at how he's holding that rifle." Ellis nodded. "Amateur. Probably a sympathizer, not military." That gave Kate an idea. She unclipped a small device from her belt, a sonic emitter tuned specifically to human hearing range. The Zalorans with their different auditory system would be unaffected. "Cover me." "When the human drops, take the Zaloran." Kate activated the device. The high-pitched sound was beyond painful to human ears. As expected, the human guard crumpled, clutching his head in agony. The Zaloran turned in confusion, giving Ellis and Pharaoh the opening they needed. Their stun weapons fired simultaneously, dropping the alien guard without a sound. Kate rushed to the vault door, disabling the sonic emitter. "Sam, it's Kate. We've secured the outer door." After a moment, Sam's voice came through the intercom. "Kate? Thank God. They tried to breach the vault twice already. We need to move you and the research." The diversion team won't hold them for long. The vault door slid open just enough for Kate to slip inside. Sam looked exhausted, her lab coat stained with something purple. Behind her, holographic displays showed complex molecular structures rotating slowly. "I can't leave this," Sam said, gesturing to a sealed container on the central table. "It's the only viable culture we have. If it's destroyed, we lose months of work." Kate nodded. "Then we take it with us." "How stable is it?" "Stable enough to move if we're careful." Sam carefully placed the container in a specialized transport case. "But Kate, there's something else you should know. The breakthrough we made. It's bigger than just the female illness. The genetic therapy we developed could revolutionize human medicine too. Cancer, genetic disorders, even aging. This research could change everything for both our species." Kate felt the weight of this revelation. No wonder the opposition was willing to risk so much to destroy it. This wasn't just about saving the Zalorans anymore. It was about a future where both species could benefit from each other's knowledge. "All the more reason to get you out safely," Kate said, helping Sam secure the case. "Ready?" Sam nodded, her face determined despite her obvious fatigue. "Ready." Kate signaled Ellis and Pharaoh. "Package secured. Starting extraction." The trip back through the service tunnels was tense. Kate led the way with Sam close behind, clutching the precious research container. Ellis covered their rear while Pharaoh helped guide them through the maze of passages. The sounds of fighting echoed through the walls. "Command, we have the package and are en route to extraction point Beta," Kate whispered into her comm. Olivia's voice came back, strained over the sound of weapons fire. "Copy that. Be advised we have more hostiles than expected. Proceed with extreme caution." Kate exchanged worried glances with Ellis. More hostiles meant their escape route might be compromised. "We need a different way out," Kate decided. "Sam, is there another exit from the research wing that wouldn't be on standard blueprints?" Sam thought for a moment. "The waste disposal system. It connects to the underground recycling facility. The tunnels are small, barely big enough for Zalorans, which is why they don't use them much." "Perfect," Kate said. "Lead the way." They changed direction, moving deeper into the service areas of the palace. The passageways grew narrower, the crystalline walls giving way to more utilitarian materials. The air took on a strange smell, not unpleasant, but definitely alien. "How much further?" Ellis asked, glancing nervously behind them. "2 more junctions," Sam replied. Then a blast of energy hit the wall near them, sending shards of material flying. Kate pushed Sam down, shielding both her and the container. "Contact." "Rear!" Pharaoh shouted, returning fire. Kate caught a glimpse of their pursuers, 2 Zalorans in dark armor, their weapons glowing with charged energy. "Go! I'll cover you!" She pushed Sam toward Ellis. "Get her out! That research is priority 1. Ellis hesitated for only a moment before nodding and pulling Sam forward. Pharaoh and Kate took positions at opposite sides of the tunnel, creating a crossfire zone. The first Zaloran attacker moved into view, faster than Kate expected. These weren't regular soldiers. They moved with the practiced precision of special forces. Kate fired 3 rapid shots, forcing the alien back into cover. "They're trying to flank us through the side passages," Pharaoh warned. Kate made a quick decision. "Fall back to the next junction, I'll delay them." She pulled a small device from her tactical vest, a motion sensor mine. Not lethal, but it would create enough of a barrier to slow their pursuers. 20 seconds, Kate said, activating the device and placing it against the wall. They retreated quickly, meeting up with Ellis and Sam at the next intersection of tunnels. "The disposal exit is just ahead," Sam said, pointing to a narrower passage that sloped downward. They could hear their pursuers approaching the mine's location. The explosion shook the tunnel, followed by shouts of pain and anger. "That won't hold them long," Kate said. "Move." The waste disposal tunnel was cramped even for the humans. They crawled through on hands and knees, Sam carefully protecting the research container. The tunnel opened into a larger chamber filled with sorting mechanisms and recycling equipment. The Zalorans were remarkably efficient. Nothing went to waste in their society. There's an exit lift at the far end, Sam explained. It leads to the surface about half a kilometer from the palace perimeter. Kate checked in with command as they crossed the chamber. Captain, we're exiting via the waste recycling system. Request extraction at the northeast surface access point. Negative, came Olivia's tense reply. Northeast sector is compromised. All extraction teams are engaged. You'll need to reach the human embassy on your own. Kate felt her heart sink. The embassy was 5 kilometers away through the alien city. With hostiles hunting them and Sam carrying irreplaceable research, it seemed impossible. Understood, she replied anyway. We'll find a way. As they reached the lift, Ellis suddenly stumbled, clutching her side. Blood seeped between her fingers. Ellis, when did you get hit? Kate demanded, moving to support her. Back in the tunnel, Ellis grimaced. Didn't want to slow us down. Kate helped her to the lift while Pharaoh kept watch. Sam, can you do anything for her? Sam examined the wound quickly. Energy weapon, cauterized most of the damage. She needs real medical attention, but she can move if we support her. The lift hummed to life, carrying them upward toward the surface. Kate used the moment to think. They needed transportation and a way to avoid detection. The market district, she decided. It'll be crowded this time of day. We can blend in, maybe find transport. The lift opened to a small maintenance building on the outskirts of the royal complex. They emerged cautiously, Ellis leaning on Pharaoh for support. The twin suns of Zeloria were high in the purple sky, casting multiple shadows across the gleaming cityscape. Unlike human cities, Zeloran architecture favored curves and spirals, buildings flowing into each other like frozen liquid. Beautiful but alien, a constant reminder that they were very far from home. They moved quickly through back streets, avoiding the main thoroughfares where royal guards would be looking for them. Kate noticed something else concerning. Regular citizens were watching them with more suspicion than usual. News of the attack had clearly spread. They're setting us up, Kate realized, making it look like humans were behind the attack. Sam clutched the research container tighter. If they turn public opinion against us, the Queen might be forced to end the alliance even if she doesn't want to. They reached the edge of the market district. The sounds and smells of the Zeloran market were overwhelming. Food vendors selling strange delicacies. Merchants hawking everything from technical components to handcrafted jewelry. Zelorans of all castes mingled, their skin tones ranging from pale lavender to deep indigo depending on their social standing. Stay close, Kate instructed. Keep your heads down, but don't act suspicious. They blended into the crowd, moving steadily through the market. Ellis was growing paler, her steps faltering despite Pharaoh's support. We need a vehicle, Kate murmured, scanning the area. Her gaze landed on a transport depot at the far side of the market. There, public shuttles. As they changed direction, Kate noticed a group of royal guards entering the market from the south entrance. They were scanning faces, clearly looking for someone. Guards, she warned. Casual pace, don't look directly at them. They continued walking, trying to appear like normal humans going about their business. For a moment, Kate thought they might make it past without incident. Then a voice called out in the Zeloran language. Kate didn't need a translation to understand they'd been spotted. Split up, Kate ordered quickly. Sam, with me. Pharaoh, get Ellis to the embassy. Before they could argue, Kate pulled Sam into a narrow side alley between vendor stalls. The research was what mattered most. If they could protect that, the mission wasn't a failure. They ducked behind a stack of storage containers as royal guards rushed past the alley entrance. Kate held her breath, counting the seconds. When the sound of pursuit faded, she risked a peek around the corner. They're following Pharaoh and Ellis, she whispered. That gives us a chance. Sam looked worried. Will they be okay? Pharaoh knows what he's doing, and the guards don't seem to be shooting to kill. Kate hoped she was right about that. Come on, we need to keep moving. They worked their way through back alleys, staying away from main pathways. The transport depot was still their goal, but they needed to approach carefully. There's something I don't understand, Sam said as they paused to check their route. If Zeryl's faction wants to destroy the research, why attack the lab directly? Why not just bomb it or cause an accident? Kate had been wondering the same thing, because destruction isn't their only goal. They want to discredit humans completely, make it look like we tried to steal or sabotage the research ourselves. A false flag operation, Sam realized. If humans are blamed for destroying the cure, no Zelleran would trust us again. They reached a vantage point overlooking the transport depot. Several shuttle vehicles sat waiting, with a few Zellorans moving between them. No heavy security, which was good. We need a distraction, Kate said, scanning the area. Sam pointed to a fuel storage area near the edge of the depot. Would that work? Kate smiled slightly. Perfect. Wait here. She moved silently toward the storage tanks, keeping to the shadows. Years of special operations training on Earth made her virtually invisible when she wanted to be. She placed a small charge, not enough to cause serious damage, but sufficient to create confusion. Returning to Sam's position, Kate triggered the device. The explosion was small but spectacular, sending a plume of colorful smoke into the air. Zellerans rushed toward the commotion, leaving the shuttles unattended. Now, Kate urged, and they sprinted across the open space to the nearest shuttle. The vehicle was larger than human designs, with controls adapted for the longer Zelloran fingers. Sam placed the research container carefully on a secure shelf while Kate examined the controls. Can you fly this thing? Sam asked nervously. Kate nodded. Basic training for all security personnel. It's not that different from our models, just bigger. She activated the shuttle and the engine hummed to life with a sound like singing crystal. The display lit up with Zelloran script, which Kate could read just enough of to manage. Hold on, she warned, engaging the thrusters. The shuttle rose, smoothly, then shot forward with more speed than Kate had anticipated. She adjusted quickly, steering them away from the depot and into the flow of air traffic above the city. Where are we going? Sam asked, clutching her seat as Kate maneuvered between the spires of Zelloran buildings. Not the embassy, Kate decided. That's the first place they'll look. We need somewhere safe to contact our people without being traced, she thought quickly, reviewing what she knew about the city. The old observatory. It's in the hills outside the city, mostly automated now. Not many visitors. The shuttle banked sharply as Kate changed their course. Behind them, alert signals began flashing on the control panel. They've noticed the stolen shuttle, Kate said grimly, and they're tracking us. Sam looked at the research container, her face set with determination. We can't let them take this, Kate. Not just for the Zellorans, but for humanity too. The medical applications could save millions of lives. Kate nodded, pushing the shuttle faster. The city fell away beneath them as they headed toward the rolling, purple hills that surrounded the Zelloran capital. The observatory dome gleamed in the distance, a silver half-sphere against the alien landscape. As they approached, Kate saw movement around the building. We've got company. Someone tipped them off. She veered away, skimming low over the hills. New plan. We go to ground, hide until nightfall. I know a place. During her security sweeps of outlying areas, Kate had discovered an abandoned research station half buried in the side of a hill. It dated back to before the current Zelloran government, forgotten in their records. She guided the shuttle into a narrow valley, finding a small clearing where dense vegetation would help hide the vehicle from aerial searches. They landed with a gentle bump. Grab the container. We need to move quickly before they track the shuttle here. They set out on foot, Kate leading them through the alien forest. The vegetation was strange, plants that seemed to breathe, flowers that turned to follow them as they passed. Despite the danger, Sam couldn't help her scientific curiosity. The botanical diversity here is amazing, she murmured, examining a fern-like plant that glowed softly. Some of these species might have medical applications we haven't even considered. Focus. Sam? Kate reminded her. Botanical expedition later. They hiked for nearly an hour before reaching the abandoned station. The entrance was partially covered with vine-like growth, but the structure remained sound. Kate cleared away enough of the vegetation to access the door, then used her multi-tool to bypass the ancient lock mechanism. The interior was dusty but intact. Zaloran technology was built to last, and many systems still functioned on backup power. Kate secured the entrance while Sam found a surface to set up the research container. The container has its own power supply, Sam explained, checking the status displays. The cultures inside are stable. Kate activated her emergency comm unit, a separate system from their standard communicators, designed for exactly this type of situation. This is Morgan, authentication code Sierra Echo Tango 94. Dr. Chen and research package secure at fallback location Charlie. Requesting extraction. Be advised, standard channels may be compromised. Static answered her. She tried again, adjusting the frequency, but got the same result. Something's blocking the signal, Kate said, frowning. Either this structure is better shielded than it looks, or they're jamming communications across the region, Sam finished. Which means they're really serious about finding us. Kate moved to a dust-covered console. Let's see if any of this old equipment still works. Maybe we can piggyback on the Zaloran communication network. As Kate worked on establishing communications, Sam explored the station, looking for anything that might help them. The facility appeared to have been a biological research outpost with equipment not unlike what she used in her own lab. Kate, look at this, Sam called, standing in front of an old data terminal. This station was researching the female illness, decades ago before it became widespread. Kate joined her, looking at the ancient Zaloran script scrolling across the pie screen. Can you read enough of it to tell what they found? Sam studied the data, her expression growing more excited. They were close to understanding the cause. These research notes, they complement what we've discovered. The illness isn't natural at all. It's engineered. Engineered? Kate stared at her. You mean someone created this disease deliberately? Sam nodded slowly. And according to this data, it was created by Zalorans themselves, a faction that wanted to control population growth after their expansion to new star systems. But it mutated, became more virulent than intended. Kate felt cold anger building inside her. So Zarel's faction isn't just against the Alliance. They're protecting whoever was behind this atrocity. Exactly. And they don't want the cure found because it would expose their ancestors' crime. Sam turned back to the terminal, downloading the data to her portable device. This could change everything. Kate, not just the cure, but the entire political situation. A distant rumble shook dust from the ceiling. Kate moved to the narrow window, carefully peering outside. On the horizon, she could see aircraft moving in a search pattern. They're getting closer, she warned. We need to move soon, Sam continued, downloading data from the old terminal, her face illuminated by its pale glow. Almost done. This information could be as valuable as the research samples themselves. Kate checked her weapons and supplies. Their situation was precarious, outnumbered, cut off from communication, carrying information that could destabilize an entire civilization. And yet Kate felt strangely calm. This was what she had trained for. Got it, Sam announced, disconnecting her device from the terminal. Everything this station knew about the illness, plus their research notes. Kate nodded. Good. Now we need a plan to get off this planet. Sam looked startled. Off planet? What about the embassy? The embassy is compromised, Kate explained. If Zarel's people have infiltrated the Royal Guard, they've definitely got people in or around our embassy, too. Our best chance is to get to the spaceport and find a way onto one of the human transport ships. The spaceport is on the other side of the city, Sam pointed out, and they'll be watching it. Kate smiled grimly. Yes, but they'll be watching, for humans trying to leave, not for Zellerans. Sam's eyes widened as she understood. You want us to disguise ourselves as Zellerans? That's insane, they're 7 feet tall. Not all of them, Kate said. The hill clans are shorter, closer to our height, and they wear hooded robes that cover most of their features when they visit the capital. During her months on Zaloria, Kate had made a point of learning about all the various Zaloran subcultures. The hill clans were more reclusive than the city dwellers, maintaining older traditions and generally keeping to themselves. There's traditional Hill Clan clothing in the storage lockers, Kate continued. I noticed it when we came in. Probably kept here for researchers visiting from the hills. They found the clothing, long robes with deep hoods, gloves to hide their human hands, and face coverings that would obscure everything but their eyes. The eyes are still a problem, Sam noted as they changed. Ours don't reflect light the same way theirs do. Kate rummaged through the medical supplies and found what she was looking for. Light-filtering lenses used by Zilorans when working with certain sensitive materials. These should change the appearance of our eyes enough to pass a casual inspection. Once dressed, they looked at each other. The disguises weren't perfect, but in the busy spaceport, with the right body language and behavior, they might just pass. What about the research? Sam asked, gesturing to the container. Kate found a decorative Hill Clan transport case, designed to carry ceremonial objects, that was just large enough to hold the container. They'll expect Hill Clan members to be carrying cultural artifacts. This should work. As night fell, they left the station, moving cautiously through the alien forest. The multiple moons of Zaloria cast enough light to see by, but also created confusing patterns of shadow that made navigation challenging. They avoided the main roads, following smaller paths that wound through the hills. Twice they had to hide, as search parties passed nearby. Kate noticed that the search patterns were becoming more methodical, more focused on their area. They must have found the shuttle, she whispered after one close call. By midnight, they had reached the outskirts of the city. The spaceport glowed in the distance, a hub of activity even at this late hour. Zalorans required less sleep than humans, and their society operated around the clock. They joined a group of actual Hill Clan members heading toward the city, keeping to the back of the group and mimicking their distinctive shuffling gait. No one paid them much attention. The city's Zalorans generally avoided interaction with the more traditional clans. At the city checkpoint, Kate held her breath as guards scanned the group. The scanners were calibrated for weapons and dangerous materials, not specifically to identify species. They passed through without incident. The spaceport was busier than Kate had expected. A large shipment of Earth goods had apparently arrived, and the loading areas were crowded with workers and merchants. The passenger terminal is on the far side, Kate murmured, keeping her voice low and head bowed. We need to find out when the next human transport is leaving. They moved through the crowds, trying to appear purposeful without drawing attention. At the information terminal, Kate carefully studied the departure schedule. A human diplomatic shuttle was scheduled to leave in 3 hours, their best chance. As they turned away from the terminal, Sam suddenly gripped Kate's arm. Security patrol, 10 o'clock. Kate saw them, a mixed group of Zaloran guards and human security personnel, clearly searching for someone. Among them was a face she recognized, Chief Security Officer Diane Foster from the Human Embassy. Something wasn't right. Foster's presence made sense, but her body language was off, too rigid, too controlled. That's not a rescue party, Kate realized. Foster's being coerced. A subtle motion caught Kate's eye. Foster's hand, slightly apart from her body. Fingers moving in the coded gestures all human security personnel learned during training. DANGER, Kate interpreted. TRAITOR. She pulled Sam behind. A large cargo container. We can't approach any human personnel. Foster is warning us there's a traitor among them. Sam looked panicked. So what do? We can't get on the diplomatic shuttle without clearance. Kate thought quickly. Not the diplomatic shuttle. The cargo ships. They're less secure, and we know at least one is loading for return to Earth. They changed direction, heading toward the massive cargo section of the spaceport. Here, automated loaders moved containers between ships and warehouses, supervised by a minimal crew. The noise and activity provided excellent cover. Kate located the Earth-bound cargo vessel, a bulky transport ship designed for efficiency rather than aesthetics. Unlike the sleek Zaloran vessels, human ships were blocky and utilitarian. We need to get aboard without being seen by the crew, Kate said, studying the loading pattern. There, That automated loader is taking containers directly into the cargo. Hold. They waited for the right moment, then slipped into the loading area. Kate timed their movement carefully, and they managed to climb onto a cargo platform just as it was rising toward the ship's hold. Inside the vast cargo bay, they found a place to hide among the secured containers. The ship wasn't scheduled to depart for several hours, but they couldn't risk being discovered before then. Sam carefully checked the research container, making sure it hadn't been damaged during their journey. If we make it back to Earth with this, it won't just save the Zalorans. The medical applications for humans could change everything. Kate nodded, keeping watch for any crew members who might enter the cargo bay. That's why we can't fail. Time passed slowly. They could hear activity throughout the ship as the crew prepared for departure. Finally, the cargo bay doors sealed with a heavy thud, and the subtle vibration of the engines starting up ran through the floor. "We did it," Sam whispered, relief evident in her voice. Kate wasn't so sure. "We're not safe until we're back on Earth. And even then, whoever the traitor is, they have connections there too." The ship lurched slightly as it disconnected from the spaceport. Through a small viewport, Kate could see the lights of the Zaloran city falling away beneath them. Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the ship. A voice came over the intercom. "Security alert. All crew to emergency stations. Unauthorized life forms detected in Cargo Bay 3. Kate's heart sank. "They've found us." The cargo bay door slid open, and armed crew members entered, weapons drawn. Kate pushed Sam behind her, raising her hands slowly. "Don't shoot," she called out. "I'm Lieutenant Kate Morgan, Human Security Detail. This is Dr. Samantha Chen. We're seeking emergency asylum." The ship's security chief, a stern-faced woman named Linda Reeves, studied them suspiciously in the small conference room. Their Hill Clan disguises lay discarded on the floor, and the research container sat on the table between them. "You understand my position," Reeves said after Kate had explained their situation. "I have reports from both human and Zaloran authorities claiming you stole classified research and attacked personnel." "Those reports are coming from compromised sources," Kate insisted. "There's a conspiracy at the highest levels to prevent this research from reaching completion." Sam leaned forward. "The illness-killing Zaloran females was engineered by their own people generations ago. We found proof in an abandoned research station. Certain factions want to keep that secret, even if it means the extinction of their species." Reeves looked skeptical. "That's a serious accusation. Which is why we need to get this research and evidence to Earth," Kate said. "To people we know aren't compromised." The security chief tapped her fingers on the table, considering. "I can't divert the ship. We're on a scheduled run with time-sensitive cargo. And I can't just ignore official alerts." Kate felt desperation rising. They were so close. "Then at least secure the research," she pleaded. "Whatever you decide about us, this work is too important to lose." Something in her tone must have reached Reeves. The security chief sighed. "I'm placing you both under house arrest in guest quarters until we reach Earth. The research will be secured in the ship's vault. Beyond that, I make no promises." It wasn't perfect, but it was enough. Kate and Sam were escorted to a small cabin, normally used for visiting officials or technicians. The door locked behind them. "Could be worse," Sam said, sitting heavily on one of the bunks. "At least we're headed to Earth." Kate wasn't ready to relax. "We still don't know who the traitor is or how far their influence extends. We need to be prepared for anything when we land." The journey to Earth would take 3 days at standard speed. They spent the time recovering from their ordeal and planning their next steps. Sam worked tirelessly on her tablet, compiling all the data they had gathered and preparing it for presentation to authorities on Earth. On the second day, Reeves visited them. Her expression was more troubled than before. "We received a coded message from Admiral Laura Beck," she said without preamble. "She requests that upon arrival, you and the research be transferred directly to her custody, bypassing standard procedures." Kate felt a surge of hope. Admiral Beck was the highest-ranking human officer involved with the Zaloran Alliance and someone Kate respected deeply. That's good news, she said. The Admiral will understand the significance of what we found. Reeves didn't seem convinced. The message came through unofficial channels. I've requested verification. After she left, Sam looked worried. Could the Admiral be compromised too? Kate shook her head. Beck has been pushing for closer cooperation with the Zalorans from the beginning. She has nothing to gain from sabotaging the Alliance. Unless she's working with the Weapons Division, Sam pointed out. Some military factions see the Zalorans as a potential threat rather than allies. It was a disturbing thought. Kate had always seen the Admiral as a voice of reason and progress. But in this web of conspiracy, could anyone be trusted completely? The final day of their journey, Kate was summoned alone to meet with Reeves. In the security office, the chief looked grim. We received verification of the Admiral's request, she said. But we also received this. She played a message, a warning from Captain Olivia Martinez, transmitted through multiple relays to avoid detection. Olivia's face looked tired, with a fresh cut above her eye. Kate, if you're seeing this, you made it off-planet. The situation here has deteriorated. Queen Valexa has been confined to her quarters by the High Council, who claim she's been unduly influenced by humans. Ellis and Pharaoh are safe but detained at the embassy. Be careful who you trust when you reach Earth. The conspiracy goes deeper than we thought. Admiral Beck. The message cut off abruptly. Kate felt cold. She was about to warn us about the Admiral. Reeves nodded. That's my assessment too, which puts me in a difficult position. We can't hand over the research to Beck, Kate said firmly. Not until we know whose side she's really on. After a moment's consideration, Reeves made her decision. I have a contact in Naval Intelligence, Commander Fiona Walsh. She's not in Beck's chain of command. I'll arrange for her to meet us when we dock. Kate returned to their cabin and briefed Sam on the new development. They spent the remaining hours preparing for all possibilities, including the worst-case scenario where they might need to run again. The ship docked at Earth's orbital station right on schedule. Through the cabin's small window, Kate could see the familiar blue and white of her home planet. After months on an alien world, the sight brought unexpected emotion. Reeves came. For them personally. Commander Walsh is waiting in Docking Bay 4 with a security team. Admiral Beck has sent her own people to Docking Bay 1 where we're expected to arrive. So we're taking a detour, Kate surmised. Exactly. The research has already been moved through the maintenance tunnels. Follow me, and act natural if we encounter anyone. They left the cabin, moving through the ship's corridors toward an auxiliary exit. Crew members nodded to them but asked no questions. Reeves had obviously prepared them. They were almost at the maintenance access when a voice called out behind them. Chief Reeves, I expected to meet you at the main airlock. They turned to find Admiral Laura Beck approaching, flanked by 2 security officers. The Admiral looked exactly as Kate remembered her. Tall, distinguished, with streaks of gray in her dark hair. Nothing in her demeanor suggested deception. Admiral, Reeves said, keeping her voice neutral. We had a last-minute change of docking procedures, technical issue. Beck's eyes moved to Kate and Sam. Lieutenant Morgan, Dr. Chen, I'm relieved to see you both safe. You've caused quite a stir. Kate remained silent, watching the Admiral carefully. Was this the same woman she had respected, or someone playing a role in a larger conspiracy? Beck seemed to sense her suspicion. You're right to be cautious, Lieutenant. Trust is in short supply these days. She dismissed her security officers with a gesture. Give us the room. When they were alone, Beck's formal demeanor softened slightly. I know about the research station you found, and about the engineered nature of the Zaloran illness. Kate exchanged glances with Sam. How could you know that? We haven't reported it to anyone. Because I've been investigating the same conspiracy for over a year, Beck replied. There are factions on both sides working to undermine the Alliance. Humans who fear alien technology and Zalorans who fear human expansion. She stepped closer, lowering her voice. The real breakthrough in Dr. Chen's research isn't just the cure for the Zalorans. It's the potential for integrated medical technology that benefits both species equally. True symbiosis, not just alliance. Sam gasped softly. That's exactly what my latest results showed. But I never included that in any official reports. Beck nodded. Because the implications are enormous. It means neither species can dominate the other. We need each other to advance. Kate still wasn't convinced. If you're on our side, why the secrecy? Why not communicate clearly? Because I didn't know who I could trust either, Beck admitted. Not until Captain Martinez confirmed you had escaped with the research intact. The mention of Olivia caught Kate's attention. Is she safe? Her message was cut off. She's secure at a classified location, Beck assured her. Along with Queen Valexa, who we extracted from the palace during the confusion. It was almost too much to process. While Kate and Sam had been fleeing across Zaloria, a much larger operation had been unfolding. So what happens now? Sam asked, still clutching her precious research container. Admiral Beck's expression was determined. Now we use your discovery to expose the conspiracy and save the Alliance. Queen Valexa is prepared to address both her people and ours with the truth about the illness and its cure. She extended her hand toward Sam. The future of two species depends on what you've discovered, Doctor. Are you ready to change history? Sam looked at Kate, who nodded slightly. Together, they had crossed an alien world, escaped pursuers, and protected a discovery that could transform civilization. The hard part was over. We're ready, Sam said, handing the container to the Admiral. As they walked toward the future, Kate thought about how far they had come. Humans, once confined to a single planet, now stood as equals with an advanced alien civilization. Not through superior strength or technology, but through the uniquely human qualities of adaptability, determination, and courage. The Zalorans had sought human help because of their medical knowledge. They had stayed for their spirit. Perhaps that was humanity's greatest strength after all.